Minority communities are facing this backlash against anger. About immigration, and root cause is uncontrolled immigration, is that we are pouring too many people from overseas into our societies, and this is what is driving people to anger. And unfortunately, as I've said, of course, we've always had the racist idiots on the extremes, but it is now pushing ordinary people into anger, which in turn manifests itself into racist and hate attacks, hate crimes. With this uncontrolled immigration, and particularly the illegal immigration, and particularly here in the UK and to Ireland to some degree, is that many of those who are coming across illegally are, of course, throwing away their passports. They're throwing away any identity papers, which means they can hide their identity. Now, many of these individuals, we don't have statistics, and I certainly don't have them to hand, but many of these individuals are the world's criminal detritus. They are people exploiting this system, this illegal trafficking system, to flee their home countries because they are criminals. Many of them are sexual predators. And we have seen on an almost daily basis here in the UK, and we've seen it in Sweden, we've seen it in Germany, two other countries that have suffered extraordinary degrees of illegal and legal immigration. We have seen a huge increase in sex crimes, sex assaults, rapes against women, against our daughters, our wives, etc., here in our countries. And many of these attacks have been perpetrated by these so-called asylum seekers. Now, many of these are not asylum seekers. They are literally criminals fleeing their home countries who are already wanted in their home countries for similar crimes. They come over to our countries and they have now been seen to attack our women. We have several cases, just even this week, of illegal immigrants who are now housed in our hotels who've gone out and sexually assaulted young girls and women. And unfortunately, this has happened in Ireland, and this has happened several times in Ireland. And we've seen actually huge riots in Ireland as a result of this. And now we're seeing increasing riots here in the UK as well for this very reason. I mean, frankly, we're all human beings. If we see a young girl in one of our towns or cities raped by a so-called asylum seeker, what are you going to do? Of course you're going to be angry about it. So, unfortunately, it is understandable. The sad point, though, the sad side effect of all this is that these angry people who are justifiably angry are looking for targets for their hate. Now, of course, we have it here in the UK. They protest outside these very hotels that these so-called asylum seekers are being housed in. But unfortunately, they also take it out on anybody they find in their paths, particularly the young testosterone-fueled men who are angry. They're looking for targets. So they walk down the street, they see a Sikh with a turban on. It's one of them, isn't it? That's their attitude. And unfortunately, this is the mentality that has been driven all the way back through the single root cause. And this is why I keep saying, these are just symptoms. These are terrible, tragic symptoms. But we've got to address the root cause, which is this immigration, this uncontrolled immigration, both legal and illegal.